At Vibra Finance, we seek out the hidden gems in cryptocurrency. We will tailor your portfolio to work for you. Are you ready to transition your investments from traditional markets to cryptocurrency? Are your coins staked and earning interest? Are you overwhelmed with all the jargon in crypto? Is your portfolio underperforming and you want to reposition into consistent winning blue chip coins and viable projects? Do you feel like you missed out on DeFi, Metaverse, and NFTs? Here at Vibra Finance, we provide you with the data, skills, and tools you need to stay on top of the digital asset market. Vibra Finance, we are the future of crypto.
Let's go. That shit is fire right there. Love it. Shout out to my man Drippy for doing that. Really appreciate you. He took the one that was getting us flagged and remixed it, added some sick tunes to it. I fucking love it. So shout out to Drippy, bro. Appreciate you. Gotta have the intro back. Just doesn't feel the same without it. I don't know, just going live. I don't know, something about that commercial just is I really like it. Came out good. And now having that remix, the 2025 edition, let's go. But man, had a good weekend stepping back away from crypto. My homies came out. He's a avid bird photographer, so we went down to Niagara Falls, some of the nature trails, and it's beautiful around here. And it's nice to take a break from this shit because people are just crazy, man. When you're in the trenches every day, I don't know how people can handle it. It really, the IQ level just is plummeting by the day. And shout out to everyone that's crushing it right now. And if you're not here every day and you feel like, man, my portfolio is just going down, it's just going down, that's all right. You know, that's the market we're in right now. The 4-year cycles are done at this point. I really think so. Bitcoin dominance is staying where it's at because Wall Street has taken over. The ETFs, look at what happened. The Bitcoiners were praying to get Wall Street involved. Let's get institutions involved in Bitcoin. And now that Wall Street is controlling it, look at what the chart's doing. You know, we're getting little pumps, chops, little dip, pump up. And it's so manipulated. It's so volatile. And that's what I've been kind of warning. The volatility is going to be here. I don't think we're going to see 2021, where we were just straight pumping, going up 50, 70% a day, every coin in your portfolio. I don't think that's happening. I think now the institutions, they're here. They are taking over and they're waiting. Stablecoin regulation is just about to be passed. They need to get the Senate and the House to pass it, or Congress, whatever. That's going to happen when there's an emergency coming up. I really think Japan is that catalyst. They are ready to go with their CBDC, the only G20 nation ready to go, rolling it out. Ripple's going to be used by all the banks by the end of this year. They're already using it on the back end. And when the CBDC launches, it's going to change everything. I think there's going to be a meltdown before we really pump hard. This sucks. Nobody saw this coming, where we were going to just do nothing but Bitcoin. And as the other ETFs roll out, I think you're going to start to see appreciation in the American cryptos. And there's going to be a massive push towards no taxes for people making under 200,000, no taxes on American cryptos. They're really going to push people into certain coins. I really think that's where this is all going. And the coins that have the ETFs, the American cryptos, they're going to start to really take off and separate themselves. And the shitty projects that were VC pump and dumps and just pure money grabs, they're going to start to disappear. And I think I really want to see crazy shit happen where I just don't know how retail, where's the money going to come from this cycle? That's the one thing that I don't get. There's money coming back from FTX tomorrow, about $1 billion or so. That's great. Oh, where is it going to be a stimulus check? Is it going to be the no tax announcement in a couple months that people say, oh my God, I can just start spending like crazy now? Like there's got to be some catalyst that gets the retail investor thinking, I got money to blow now. I got to start spending. Because right now people are thinking, I need to save. I can't spend. Everything's too expensive. And Trump's been bragging and saying everything's going to pump. Everything's going to pump. But going around what he did last time when he came in, the dollar, same playbook. It collapsed for a year. And I think once interest rates get cut, we're going to see some crazy crash happen. And then from there, people are going to be saying it's over. And that's when I think the Hederas, the XRPs, the Chainlink, Stellar, and even Solana now, there's a big push with a lot going on with utility being built. And I'm glad to see that. I still don't own anything but ZBAC. You know, we talked about that maybe a month ago when I finally pulled the trigger because Lindsay has her Solana wallet. And I just felt like this coin is great. Phenomenal project and is pumping hard right now. But it's going to be these, I don't know, the outlier coins that pump hard. I just don't think you're going to be able to throw a dart at a board and just get 100x anymore. I think you have to be in the right narratives, in the right projects at the right time. And it's funny how last cycle, the projects that I felt were the shittiest in my portfolio are the ones that I didn't expect to pump the hardest. They ended up running the hardest. And the ones that I was like banking on that were going to do the best, they disappointed. So it's funny how that works. And it's why being diversified is so important. I stress it all the time. You know, if on a day like today where everything's down, just looking at my bag of Velo and saying, oh shit, Velo's pumping today. It takes your mind off of all the other disasters going around crypto. And the other one, I've been chilling so hard lately when I went on with Mo and the DJing crew is Dynex, OXDNX. It's now up almost 50. It was up 100%. It's now doubled from the bottom where I made my second buy at like 2.5 cents or 2.6. And here we go again with the friggin' internet. Man, I just want to get like a friggin' pump and make like 20 G's so I can buy a new damn computer because this is so annoying. So annoying. But Dynex, guys, this is a gem. And just having the right blue chips and knowing, you know what? I'm getting punched in the face right now with Pulse Chain, with Hex. That's okay with the Titan X ecosystem. Ethereum, everything right now is so hyper suppressed. I'm really starting to learn how the market works. And all the big buys, they're done on OTC deals, which we're never going to see the blockchain, or they're done in the dark pools, which settle through the OTC desk pretty much and through private chains. So I'm told, and I see people talking. I pay $100 a month to be in a mastermind, and I'm the person looking up in there at everyone else and just hearing the conversations, the way they talk, the stuff that they know that's going on. You don't hear about that in the mainstream, and it just blows my mind that we know how bad the media lies about everything, from the scandemic, from everything is the opposite out there. Everything they tell you is good is actually bad for you. Everything that's bad is actually good. So why the hell are people believing the Bitcoin nonsense and this whole Bitcoin narrative? Like Michael Saylor is a front man. All right. He's playing a role. He did the same thing in the .com era and he blew it up. And now I think Bitcoin is the Trojan horse that's going to blow up the economy. You know, we're so over leveraged everywhere. There's all these zombie corporations on Wall Street that are just losing money every year. You know, they can't just shut them down and say, oh, you know, yeah, there's no excuse. when they can just funnel money into them and keep them going and keep the nonsense rolling. But with Bitcoin, they have the perfect scapegoat. And now all these companies that are starting to invest in these ETFs and buying Bitcoin, I think they're gonna regret that big time. Because if you notice, I look back at history a lot in World War II and who really won and who really lost. And I think it's the opposite. Germany didn't lose. Let's say that. And what did they do a year or so ago that everyone crucified them for? They sold all their Bitcoin. And what did they do with it? Who knows? Did they buy ETH? Did they buy XRP? Did they just put it into stable coins? Who knows? But I have a feeling they're going to come out on top. And the strategic reserve, the US reserve, they've never once said Bitcoin is going in there. And that's a massive deception. They're not going to enrich China, who have the biggest miners in the world, and put that in the reserve. It's not happening. So I really think that Japan is going to blow up here in the near future. I've been saying it for so long now. And they just came out publicly and said they're in a worse position than Greece was in 2012. So this is going to cause the chain reaction. Everything is now set up in place, the right people, legislation. And I think, unfortunately, guys, I think we're going to have to see a lot of pain before we pump, unless something changes here in the next couple weeks. And me getting concerned, maybe this is the bottom signal. I really hope it is. But man, the market is going to look so different. And I just hope you guys have stacked up on these blue chips like Hedera, like Velo, like Stronghold, XRP, Clearpool, Flare. Guys, they're going to be the ones that pump the hardest. I just watched the interview with Hugo Filion and Jake Claver about what Flare's building and the XRP strategies and yield opportunities. And he straight up said, this is not for retail. This is for institutions. And he said the biggest holders of Flare are institutions and banks. So guys, I'm following the big money. I'm not listening to clowns out here that got lucky on some shit coin, or they got into Bitcoin early and got lucky. They did no research. If you actually do research here every day, you find projects and you find a complete different narrative that's completely counter opposite of the mainstream. So you got to be the 1% that goes against the herd. You got to be the 1% thinking, man, am I really am I crazy really doing this when everyone else is telling me Bitcoin's going to $10 million? I just don't. I go back and I look at the same thing Michael Saylor did in the .com era when everything was pumping hard. And I hope we get this insane bull run. But on the other side of that bull run is going to be the crash that goes down as like the Bitcoin crash of 2025 or something. The .com bubble. This is going to be the crypto crash bubble. I think I really hope we get to like $10 trillion. Everyone says this time is different. This time's different. And that's when I know it's not, because I pay attention to actually the projects that are developing and building in this space. And there's so few projects that actually have a solid foundation and a use case and a future to grow versus the shitty games and the money grabs and the promises and the hype of we're better than this. We're than a better, now you have all these people, Jack Maulers with the new leveraged Bitcoin ETFs or whatever they are, the new MicroStrategy shares that pay you a better yield because they take higher risk. Like, guys, that's the shit that is going to blow this up. And then you got Ripple here sitting on billions of dollars in cash, ready to deploy. Hedera absolutely signing deals and crushing it with governments across the world. And every single headline now in the news is stable coins and real world assets. Look at this. New Jersey's Bergen County to tokenize $240 billion in real estate deeds on the Avalanche network. Interesting. I hold the bag Avalanche in my IRA. I've been saying I would have been real bullish on it because of the couple of the games that they built on there. And South Korea, the gaming hub of the world, is obsessed with Avalanche. So them alone will carry, when you have that diehard community, it's what you need in crypto. And it's gonna be a multi-chain world very soon, where it's not gonna matter what chain you're on. As long as there's liquidity there, you're gonna be able to move seamlessly around. It's not gonna matter. Atomic swaps, instant settlement across chains is coming very soon. So right now, the most important thing is just building and bringing assets on chain. And that's when I don't see how, okay, everything in the past has been pure speculation that's driven these crypto values. So when all of a sudden $240 billion are now on the Avalanche blockchain, and they're now trading, whatever, $2 billion a day in real estate, how is the value of Avalanche going to decrease 80%? Because the value is going to increase based on the TVL locked, the amount of tokenization going on chain, the amount of assets on chain, the amount of volume the chain is doing, generating fees. Like, I really think we're going to start to value cryptos a lot differently within the next year, where market cap is not going to matter. Market cap is such a stupid metric that doesn't work in crypto. You can't value a network that moves money, a protocol that moves money around the world instantly, seamlessly. You can't value that based on market cap. You need to value it based on how much money is moving through that chain, or how many assets are tokenized on that chain total, combined with that volume, combined with, the TVL of whatever it is of DeFi. And the floodgates are opening right now, guys. It's happening right now. All the legislation is happening. I've been talking about stable coins and all of the banks and all the corporate stable coins that are coming. And I don't know what they're going to call them, but I'm hearing now that Amazon is going to be using XRP for all their payments for cross-border with their platform. Bank of America using Ripple. Japan, all of Japan's using Ripple. Like, it's so obvious. And I think the mainstream, these guys, I was even watching what's his face there? The guy who does karate combat, George or us. We're all George. He's been bullish as hell on XRP lately because he knows, Bitcoin is not. How come there's no demand for Bitcoin or price spikes in Bitcoin without Tether being printed? Why can't there be a natural demand for it? Has anyone ever asked you that? Have you ever thought of that? It's crazy. All right, what's going on here? So we've got U.S. banks tiptoe towards crypto, waiting more green lights from regulators. So I think it was mid-June they have for a bunch of the ETFs. They have to approve them by then. So I really think this Japan thing is going to happen in the next 2 to 3 weeks. It's going to blow up. But even if there is a massive dip, everything is just a V-shaped recovery now. The harder things crash, the faster they're coming up and bouncing back. So we're not going to have to go through a month of just pain. It's going to be 2-3 days and then just back to normal, which is crazy. But that they've started introducing the volatility into the stock market a couple years ago. 10 years ago, for a stock to have a 10 to 12, 15% dip in one day was unheard of. They would have frozen the markets and panicked and shut everything down. But now they're bracing everybody for taking stocks and trading them like cryptos 24/7, or no, 24/5 on the blockchain, not on the weekends, but all day during the week. And now this is going to bring all of the money into crypto, because I've been saying it. Like they saw how much money was made last cycle by all these scammers and these dexes and just bullshit projects. And now they want in on that. And they're going to make sure they get their cut. U.S. banks' initial steps towards crypto are likely to be tentative. Large lenders are hesitant to be the first ones. More banks are keen to be fast followers after a few test cases. Banks seek more clarity around AML crypto regulations. The big banks are holding internal discussions about expanding into cryptocurrencies as they get stronger endorsements from regulators. And you've been hearing too now that portfolio managers are starting to up the percentage, that allocation into crypto from like 1%, 3%. Now they're saying 10%. So they're just consistently upping it and upping it. Jamie Dimon of JP Morgan ruled out getting into custody storing crypto assets for clients. When I look at the Bitcoin universe, the leverage in the system, the misuse in the system, the money laundering issues, trafficking, I'm not a fan of it. Me neither, Jamie. We're going to allow you to buy it. We're not going to custody it. I don't think you should smoke, but I defend your right to smoke. I defend your right to buy Bitcoin, he added. So funny. So, guys, the floodgates are opening. The SEC is now dropping the case against Binance. Amazing. So they basically were just an extortion. $4 billion. Come pay us $4 billion, and then we'll drop the case a couple of years later when a new regime comes in. Absolutely wild. The Coinbase could become the Amazon of crypto. They're going to be. Coinbase is going to be a neobank. So is Gemini. It's going to be Coinbase, Kraken, Gemini, Ripple. And then there's going to be other ones that kind of come out of the woodwork. But I'm super bullish on Coinbase and some of the base altcoins. And even Telegram, guys, look at this. Raising $1.7 billion in convertible bond offerings. So this is what you're going to see. Wall Street taking over these cryptos. And you're going to see like Microsoft and these existing corporations buy their way into Web3 by acquiring the best cryptos, the winners, the strongholds, the Velos. Stripe will probably acquire Stronghold maybe. Because guess what? Stripe owns 2% of the XLM supply. And you don't ever hear that in the headlines. Why would they do that? Why would Stripe buy 2% of Stellar, the dinosaur coin? I wonder why. So that's the coin. That's why I own Stellar. I follow the big money. I go against the herd. And I hope you guys do too, because I've spent the last 5 years going down rabbit holes, figuring out who's working with who behind the scenes to lay the infrastructure for when the floodgates open and regulation is here and people just are shocked at how fast these things move. And you have to be prepared. You can't be chasing at that point. And this is the time where you need to be buying the blue chips around crypto. And even if they go down, great. Who cares? It's cheaper next week. This is how it's supposed to feel. That you buy now and next week is maybe even down because Trump's tariffs news, they're now back on, or the courts lost their case against tariffs. Like, this is so crazy. The market is so volatile that one announcement from Trump spooks the market. One tariff deal spooks the market, and that's going to stop soon. So just imagine when it comes out, no taxes on American cryptos, no income tax for people making under 200K. That's going to spark a frenzy. And if you're looking at like the daily, who cares? Zoom out, look at the monthly and the yearly. But these are the last buying opportunities for the blue chips. You'll look at XRP even since I've been begging you to buy it since 2021. It's sad nobody wanted it at 40, 50 cents. And now you're up 4 to 5x and you're just chilling. And then now the next leg up is going to come and the next leg up. So now you're buying from 40 cents. Now you're up 10 to 12x. And then we just keep moving from there, up and up and up. And that's how you get left behind. And the people that didn't buy it down here or here, FOMO in at $8-10. That's going to happen. The FOMO for XRP is going to be insane in the near future. And I can't wait for the validation. We found these DeSci projects right at the perfect time. Research Coin has almost doubled up. Dynex now almost doubled up. Quant starting to move. That's one that it's hard to buy when it's been 60, $80 for a year and a half. But when it moves, it moves. But I'm fortunate where I've been building my portfolios for 5 years. I hold Quant and a big bag of Hedera, Stellar, and XRP in an IRA. That's a long-term portfolio. I can't touch it for years unless I want to pay a penalty. So I don't have to think, oh God, when do I have to sell this cycle? Do I have to get out at the top? I have to make sure to take profits. I don't have to worry about that because I know in 5 years, these coins are going to be at ridiculously higher levels. In 8 years from now, they're going to be in the hundreds of dollars. I think Hedera will be 20, 30, $50 in 3 years from now. Stellar will be $25, $30. And it's 25 cents right now. And with these coins, guys, you got to understand, you don't want to sell the blue chips. You want to just keep accumulating them. Zoom out, have a 5-year plan, because within the next, I say 6 to 12 months, the H bars, the XLMs, the XRPs, you're going to be able to loan against them. So instead of having to sell them and take profits, you go and you borrow against it. That way you always hold that asset. You don't have to sell it. You got to start thinking differently. Okay. Yeah. If they're crazy meme coins, like I'm in Moondang. I got sick of my IRA and I needed a meme coin. So I sold 1,000 XRP and at whatever, 220, 230, and put it into Moondang at 13 cents. And now it's at like 25 or 26. So I'm going to sell it at like 60 cents and make 4 or 5x the XRP I had. So the meme coins are great. That's where you can make a lot of money, but you have to be out of those. And if you're not here every day and you're not paying attention every day, you can get burnt. So for me, I just hold the blue chips on pretty much each chain for the meme coins. That's it. And my strategy is long-term here. I understand where this market is going. Look at what everyone is doing. Tokenized equities will be bigger than stable coins. Kraken will soon offer backed X stocks as Solana tokens. Kraken announced last week that it would soon list Solana-backed tokenized equities in what looks like partly the exchange's latest step to lure Solana investors. X Stocks product was developed in tandem with a startup named Backed. The vision is you can buy an X stock on Kraken, you can withdraw it, and then you can deposit it on Coinbase or on Orca. You can leverage it and probably borrow against it too. The product will be available on other blockchains at some point. See, guys, you see where this is going? Others are asking the same question, and not all are reaching the same conclusion. The buzzy tokenization firm Securitize has set about tokenizing a private credit fund, essentially offering exposure to elevated yields created by riskier private loans offered by Apollo Global. So, guys, this will be bigger than stablecoins. So this is when there's going to be trillions of dollars on chain. All right, when all the stocks start to get tokenized and brought over, like that's when the floodgates are opening, and platforms like Flare are built for this, where coins like Bitcoin and Dogecoin and Litecoin and XRP, there's no DeFi on them. You bridge them over to Flare, and now you have all the DeFi capabilities there, all built for the institutions. So that's what is going to blow up. Real world assets. So I don't care right now. I don't look at the prices of these coins. I know Axelar is going to be a giant. They're working with all the banks and all the blockchains for interoperability. Velo is pumping today. I don't know what the news is, but Velo is going to be a home run. They're taking over like the QR code scanning in all of Asia. Stronghold is doing that in the United States. Research Coin is Brian Armstrong's project. I told you guys about this. We found it at like 30 cents on May 8th or 9th around here. And it doubled up. Now it's coming back down. But guys, this thing I think can easily get to $1 billion. That's the easiest 20x in the world. Dynex, same thing. Once these guys are building a quantum language model. So like ChatGPT and these other ones are absolute garbage compared to what they're building and what they have. They're testing it right now, and their thing came in at 10,000 qubits. The newest ones from like IBM and Google are 105 and 125. These guys have 10,000. All right. So as soon as they come out and launch the model and put out like tweets and marketing, oh my God, I just can't see how this thing doesn't blow up. And then, not alone, on top of that, they're building the new quantum chip here. And this thing is game breaking because it doesn't require absolute zero. All the other quantum stuff has to be at like a freezing cold temperature. This doesn't. This is like a silicon chip, I believe, and it operates at room temperature. So if they ever pulled this off, oh my God. So I look at this, I'm like, if there's zero downside risk right now, but all the upside in the world, like there's been nothing to pump it. They've gotten nothing but crushed by the market makers. They launched at a bad time, and we found the absolute bottom. And I am just so bullish on this project. Your DeSci is a huge narrative. Blockchain is amazing for medicine, AI, and the groundbreaking stuff it's doing. It's cutting edge. And I think Brian Armstrong has a passion for it. CZ has a passion for it. Vitalik has a passion for it. So I think there's going to be a lot of money that gets pumped into this narrative. And we've been talking about the ones I like: Dynex, Research Coin, Poseidon DAO, Noble Blocks, and Bill. Where's Bill's? I don't know why he keeps getting kicked off the X screener. But Bill is a bot, is an AI chat bot for DeSci, and he's working with all the projects. So the kid that made it, he wants to have that bot Bill work with all the DeSci projects. And if they don't work with Bill, it's going to be a huge red flag. So I love it. I'm super bullish. Like, these are the coins that you can hold, you buy now, and you can come back in 3 months and not have to worry. It's not like buying into some degen coin where you had to sell the top because it's crashed 90% because, it got rugged out of the blue for whatever reason. This is my strategy. Find the best coins in the best narratives and buy them at the bottom and just hold. That's it. And you will win in the long run. Less is more. Look at like Godwale or whatever. He made 3 transactions, got into Bitcoin early, got into ETH early, then Hex. That's it. And now Pulse Chain. And the guy's going to be a billionaire just by finding the right projects at the right time. And even Dovu, they have been doing so much on Hedera, building for tokenization. They've pivoted hard from the carbon credits. And this thing has been pumping like crazy. And my Dovu bag was worth like $400, and my sauce bag was like $3K. And now my Dovu and sauce bag are the same. So I could sell my whole Dovu bag and double my sauce, which, like, people don't even understand Saucer Swap, how bullish that coin is. The number 1 DEX on Hedera. Like, when these things start to really be used by all these corporations in Web3, and the stuff starts going live that is all being done on these private blockchains behind the scenes, if they were all settling on the main net and people knew what was really going on, like none of the focus would be on the shit coins and the memes. Like, it's all gonna move to this type stuff because that's where the money's gonna be. And that's where all the advertising and the media is gonna be talking about. And look at Dovu, man. It's just been on an absolute tear. 6x from the bottom in April to the top. And I'm just still staking. And I'm just slowly, like, every month, I sell my 4,000 or 5,000 coins that I earned in interest. They put them into sauce or karate or whatever. So it's been beautiful. And pulse chain too. We had some nice gains today. What was it? Affection. Here, yeah, affection up to 0.4%. I got a decent. I've been buying that since last July at like a 20K market cap. Just kept buying a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time. I think I got a couple 100,000 coins. It's worth like $800. It was worth a lot more. I should have taken profits, but I don't care. I'm just focusing right now on building my bags. Like this is short-term noise. Like the little bit, the 2 or 3x it pumped up and came back down. That guys, it's going to look like nothing to where these charts are going to be. We're going to have, regardless of what happens in the TradFi, the XRP, the mainstream system, Richard Hart, we have our own world over here. And he's going to give us our own bull run, regardless of what happens. I think it's going to be towards the end again. After ETH runs, he's going to sell it and just repeat. But look at affection, man. If you could have caught this wick down here, you're up like 15x from the bottom. Well, Atropa, I got to watch a couple of Steven's streams. Shout out to Steven, my homie. But Atropa has been doing phenomenal. And I just been seeing his posts on what's going on. And now Maria's been burning a bunch of treasury bill, I guess. So what do you know? He is a good actor. And I just knew it because everyone was panicking, saying he's bad, he's bad. But at the same time, do you guys realize he's like the second or third biggest wallet of eHex? It's crazy. So if he really was a bad guy, like it's over for Hex. And I don't think people really really thought that one through. Well, Goo, yeah. 100%. Sauce is definitely a blue chip. What's up with this proof of stake news? Is this related to institutions like Fidelity waiting on their staking proposals? I'm not too sure with what proof of stake news you're talking about, but I know that's a big issue with the ETFs right now is the staking on them and then being in kind. To where if you want to buy the Bitcoin ETF or ETH ETF or the XRP ETFs, you can buy into them with XRP or with ETH or the native asset. And I think the proof of stake stuff is probably got to get passed so they can offer the yield. But like the ones like the XRP ETFs, they're going to almost pay back dividends. So what's going to be cool is like these ETFs where I think we're going to be able to connect with like our MetaMask wallets and stuff and buy into these products that pay you back a yield every month on them. So you put in 1,000 XRP into it and it pays you back 1 to 2% a month or something like that. That's going to be phenomenal. So I think that's what they're talking about for getting the legislation in place to start offering all the yield, because that's going to be the game changer for the ETFs. And that's when people are going to start pouring out of the Bitcoin ETF and into the blue chips. I think that's going to happen as Tether gets sanctioned, as Japan starts to unwind, and we start to see the great Bitcoin turning into the Napster of crypto. Man, Joe, this is crazy. Just trying to load up Twitter to get to watch a guru. Holy shit. The Maria photos aside. Yeah, bro, 100%. I was watching the live stream where he was dumping everything and it made no sense when he was like, Sami is a paid informant or whatever. And it's just like, dude, this does not feel organic. Well, I can't even open X, bro, but I'll check that out. I'm pretty sure it has to do with the yield and stuff for the products. Guys, just look at the news here too on Ledger Insights. The Bank of International Settlements quantifies stablecoin impact on treasury rates. EU central bank sees crypto adoption growth, raises stability concerns. UK's FCA consults on more relaxed stablecoin framework. Conduit, another stablecoin infra firm, raising 36 million. Korea becomes a testing for central bank versus stablecoin supremacy battle. Cantor Fitzgerald launching Bitcoin lending. Bonk partners WorldPay for stablecoin payouts. Stablecoin firm Circle issues IPO with 5.4 billion valuation. The guys, like a year ago, this site was just complete FUD on like institutional. JP Morgan says institutional demand for cryptos at all-time low. And it was all nonsense. And now the shift and just the bullishness, how can you not be excited for what's coming? And guys, if you're not using Switch.win right now, if you're still using Uniswap, I don't know what you're doing. It's so much cheaper. And the fees are going to go to good use. They're not just going to be purely extracted. So if you're using Base or ETH and you're on Uniswap, start switching. It's way cheaper. You'll get a better rate. I've been using it for a while now. And I a couple tax tokens have problems once in a while, but it seems to be fixed. So definitely start switching. Yeah, Pulse Shade getting rinsed right now, but no big deal. You know, I kind of like this rinsing because tomorrow a lot of money's coming out. I think retail is going to start getting some good entry points, which is what we need. You need dips for new people to come in. You know, like Surfcoin. When Nick was on last week, shout out to Nick Hellman. That was a good stream. I really enjoyed that. But Surf, you know, I found I was looking at it and it was just over 3 cents. And it was just up. And I was not going to just buy the top. So a little dip came down to like 2.5, 2.6. So I got in. So the dips, you know, they're entry points. But when we're just getting crushed like this, like I don't care right now. All it matters is accumulating my bags. The dollar amounts are irrelevant. I know I hold the best coins on each chain. It's only a matter of time before the pump comes to us. Look at Propy. You know, I haven't even paid attention to this. Propy's now at $1.14. Holy shit. Last time I saw it, it was like 70 cents. So look at that. Real world asset play, real estate tokenized on chain. It's now up over $1. And we got it at $0.25. So through all the volatility, we're up almost 5x. So it's actually not that bad. If you're in the right coins and you just hold them and don't rotate, they go up and to the right. It's proven time and time again. This is just so slow. It's disgusting. It's the yeah, bro. Velo. People have no idea. Binance is deeply tied to Velo. I do not need to get myself Pepe V2. I would rather get into Maddie's next token, Rug 3.0. Oh, man. What's up, Pulsate Trainer? Appreciate you stopping in. Let's go, baby. Spade hard facts. Love your work, brother. Thank you, Johnny. Appreciate you. But yeah, guys, that's all I got. You know, this just sucks. It's just that we're in that like that point of the market where we could take off at any moment, or we could just dump at any moment. I've never felt more uncomfortable where the market just something just doesn't feel right. And I know I'm in the best projects. I didn't even talk about Cubic tonight, how bullish they are with the Monero mining that's going on now. Like Cubic is just an absolute sleeping giant. So when you hold the best coins, you don't have to do anything. You have that conviction. You put the research in. Period. You don't have to go chasing. That's when people get wrecked. This is where people start getting impatient, where they say, oh shit, Dynex. He's been talking about Dynex. Oh my God, it pumped to 5 cents. I was looking at it. I didn't pull the trigger because the chart looked so bad. And you sell a coin that hasn't been doing anything in your portfolio. And then tomorrow that coin pumps 15%. And now you're down, you're in the hole. I did that last cycle really bad. And I learned my lesson. Where if I had just bought and held and did nothing, I would have came out so much better. Like, I haven't done anything since I got Surf. Oh, no, I'll lie. I put $50 on Bitstamp to buy a little bit more Realio in my Lobster wallet. I'm going to be able to get like 300 more coins or something. Like, it's pleb shit, but that it is what it is. That's all I can afford right now. I've been going ham on the Pokemon cards. The Pokemon market is just absolutely on fire right now. And it's not going to stop. So I've been sinking money into that. And I'm glad I did because my crypto bag, I'd have more coins, but all the bags would be worth the same dollar amount. So when you're catching falling knives, it's tough, but I don't care. It comes back, and I'd rather own the bag. Like Sologenics was the perfect example. It was at 7 cents for months, 10 cents. It looked like it was coming back up and then just dump back down. And I kept buying $50 worth, $50 worth, $100 worth. And like mid-September, I bought like $200 worth and almost doubled my bag. And it was painful. Within a week or 2 weeks, we were at 35 cents. And I was saying to myself, oh my God, why didn't I buy more? Why didn't I just buy more? Why didn't I? Oh, I should have bought more. But at the time, it was so hard. And that's the feeling you have to have. You're buying the right stuff. Don't worry about the value, the dollar value right now. The market is not moving. It's just, there's no liquidity right now, but it will change. Taxes being cut, no taxes on cryptos. Who knows, whatever it is, there's going to be something that causes the switch in retail where now all of a sudden people think they have money. And then that's when the market makers start to send the markets as people feel like they have money, they're willing to spend. And now, next thing you know, we got the bull market really kicking off. And I think that's how it's going to play out. I think we're going to have to see either Japan collapse, like I've been saying, and we're going to have to see some kind of black swan crash, whatever. I just don't see us pumping hard without that happening. There's too much volatility in the market. Nvidia, if those earnings didn't come out positive, we'd be crashing hard right now. So these insanely bullish headlines weren't affecting crypto prices at all for months. But in the stock market, the smallest headline can make or break everything. So that just shows you we are nowhere near where we're going to be, I think. I want to say by July, we should be taking off. But again, guys, no one knows. No one knows. I've been wrong about a bunch about the timing of stuff. And I don't care. It is what it is. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to give you my honest opinion, But the most important thing is just holding the right coins, the best coins. And the pump will come to you and we'll all look like geniuses in 3-4 months. I promise. So smash that like button. If you need help, you need a one-on-one, you want to go through your portfolio, go to vibrafinance.com and book an hour. It'll be the best money you've ever spent. If you're not going to sleep right now saying, oh my God, I can't wait. I can't wait. As soon as the market turns, I'm in the best projects and I'm going to see mad gains. If you're saying, oh man, I don't know if I'm in the right stuff. I don't know if this is the right bag. You got to be repositioned and get into the right coins here. It's all about narratives and it's all about where the institutions are going to pour money into. This cycle, the crypto market is going to be different from now on. The 4-year cycles are over and it's just going to be a slow up and to the right. We're going to pump and then we're going to dump. We're going to pump, we're going to dump. And it's going to be nonstop volatility, I think, for 2, 3, 4 years. And then once all the infrastructure is here, everything is starting to run smoothly. Everything is now tokenized. It's just the market is at 20, 30 trillion, 40 trillion. And by the end of the decade, 100 trillion plus. So that's a 30, 40x from here. And people are worried. It's crazy. Oh, yeah, there's the man right there. Uncle Dave was the reason we didn't stream all weekend. We were out watching birds, taking pictures, and just getting out into nature. What up, Willie B? Appreciate you, my man. All right, guys, smash that like button. We'll see you tomorrow night.